But right now, I understand my daughter is being brought into the station, and I would hate to wake up to a morning report, girl lost somewhere with her head chopped off.
Mitrice Richardson was born on April 30th, 1985 to her parents, Mitrice and Michael. Now, Mitrice's parents were in high school when they became pregnant with her, so Mitrice was raised in her early childhood by her great-grandmother, Mildred, in Covina, California, which is where she went to high school at South Hills High School, and then after that, she went on to attend Cal State Fullerton, where she received a degree in psychology in 2008. Mitrice always had a great relationship with her family. She was very close to them. She was very close to her dad, her mom, and their support really meant the world to her.
Listen. A candle flickers, a road hums somewhere beyond the hills, and a young woman steps out of a sheriff's station after midnight with no phone, no wallet, no car, just the dark. Her name is Mitrice Richardson. She is 24. The door clicks shut behind her at 12:28 a.m., and the canyon swallows the sound. Malibu at night is a maze, switchbacks, chaparral, coyotes calling from the low ravines. Streetlights end. Shadows do not. Hours from now, just after dawn, someone will look out at a quiet porch and see her, tired, calm, saying she's resting, and by the time help arrives, she'll be gone again, like breath on glass. The search will spool out across ridges and creek beds, choppers combing dry river cuts, boot prints crossing dust that refuses to hold a story. Flyers will curl on telephone poles. Tips will freeze before they reach daylight. Days become months. Summer returns. Deep in a cut they call Dark Canyon, where the brush tightens and the air cools without warning, rangers will find what the living couldn't, the pieces that say she was here. Not a confession. Not an answer. Just a discovery that raises more questions than it settles. They will say there were no obvious wounds, with a natural charm that drew people toward her. On September 16, 2009, she decided to head there. Why? Some say she planned to meet friends. Others say she just wanted to get away, to drive the Pacific Coast Highway with the ocean wind spilling through her car windows. But here's the part: station. Deputies are released in the middle of the night, alone, without a car or a way home. The deputy's reply is calm, even reassuring: "We don't release people this time of night." Mitrice takes a breath. She believes her daughter will stay until morning. But just after 12:15 a.m., on September 17, 2009, the cell door opens. Mitrice is released. No car. No phone. No money. Not even the purse she'd left in her vehicle. Outside, the canyon air is pitch black and silent. The nearest open business is miles away. The deputies do not call her family. They do not offer her a ride. They do not keep her until daylight. She walks out into the night. What happened next is reconstructed only from fragments. Around 6:30 a.m., a homeowner in the small, remote community of Monte Nido calls the sheriff's department. A young woman, matching Mitrice's description, is standing in their backyard, staring off into the distance. When approached, she tells the homeowner she's just resting. Within moments, she walks away. That's the last confirmed sighting of Mitrice Richardson alive. Her family wakes up to the news that she's gone. Mitrice's voice on the 911 call hours later is urgent but steady. "I called you last night and told you my daughter was in no condition to be released. Now she's missing." This exact moment, becomes the fault line of the entire case. Because the questions are immediate and brutal. Why release a 24-year-old woman into a pitch-black canyon in the middle of the night with no means of communication or transportation? Why assure her mother she would not be released, only to do exactly that? And why, when her behavior was noted by multiple witnesses as erratic, was no psychiatric evaluation ordered before her release? It would be months before these questions became national headlines. And by then, the search for Mitrice was no longer a rescue mission. It was something far more grim. The morning after her release, Malibu Canyon was bathed in golden light, but there was no sign of her. She had walked away from the Lost Hills Sheriff Station in the dead of night, with no phone, no purse, no wallet, no jacket, and no car keys. The station itself sits on a lonely stretch of Agora Road, surrounded not by city streets, but by the wilderness of the Santa Monica Mountains. Miles of winding blacktop snake between steep ridges and deep ravines. At night, the silence is complete, except for the wind cutting through the canyon and the distant rustle of wildlife. Her family woke to the news with disbelief. They hadn't been called. No one had told them she was being released. When they phoned the station, they were told she had been let go around midnight and had left on foot, into the dark. She didn't know the area. She had no transportation. And the station's lobby had been only steps away from the warmth and light she would never see again. By mid-afternoon, deputies began making what they called area checks. A quick drive down the canyon roads. A few questions to early morning hikers and nearby residents. But hours had already passed. In that kind of terrain, each minute mattered. One man, living in a small cabin tucked off the canyon road, recalled seeing a figure near his backyard just after dawn. She was barefoot, hair loose, standing at the edge of his property. When he called out, she didn't answer, she only looked toward the hills, as if something out there had her attention. Then, without a word, she walked into the brush. Her family, now frantic, drove to the station to demand answers. They were met with confusion and silence. In the days that followed, volunteers and deputies scoured the canyon. Helicopters skimmed the ridgelines, their rotors chopping the air over the winding creek beds. Search dogs wove through thick sage and chaparral. But the land here doesn't give up its secrets easily, dense foliage swallows sound, and steep drop-offs can hide anything from view. Still, there were no footprints. No scraps of clothing. No trail of any kind. It was as if she had stepped into the canyon and simply disappeared. As the hours turned into days, the search for her began to take a strange turn. Official statements from the sheriff's department painted a picture of routine procedure. They claimed she had been calm, collected, and coherent when she left the station. That there was no reason to hold her any longer. But those who knew her best described a very different person that night, agitated, confused, and speaking in ways that didn't quite make sense. Her family wanted to know, why hadn't deputies kept her until morning, when someone could pick her up? Why had they let a young woman walk into the wilderness in the middle of the night with no way to get home? The contradictions began stacking up. A nearby homeowner reported seeing her wandering in their backyard the morning after her release, an account matching another sighting almost 2 miles away. That raised a question. Was she disoriented and walking in circles, or was she being followed? Then came a strange development. A security camera captured what appeared to be her shadow in the early morning hours along a narrow stretch of road. The quality was poor. The footage was grainy. But some swore they could see her looking over her shoulder, as if someone was behind her. Authorities never confirmed the sighting. Her last confirmed location remained the backyard encounter, but the way she had been standing, motionless for long moments before stepping into the brush, unsettled even the searchers. Was she hiding? Waiting? Listening? Days passed without a trace. And yet, the sheriff's department seemed reluctant to escalate the search. Helicopters and ground teams weren't deployed every day. Leads were followed slowly, too slowly for a family that knew every lost hour in the canyon was another mile of possibility. Whispers began circulating. Was her disappearance simply the result of a mental health crisis gone tragically wrong, or was there more to the story? The canyon, they said, can swallow people whole. But in this case, the truth might have been swallowed too. 11 months passed searched earlier. For her family, the discovery was devastating, but it was also incomplete. There would be no clear timeline, no certainty about her final moments. Just a lonely, unforgiving stretch of canyon and an emptiness where the truth should have been. Even in death, she seemed to exist in a place between explanations, too many gaps in the story, too many unanswered calls for help that night. And so, the case that had begun with a quiet midnight release from jail ended with an even quieter discovery, one that left more shadows than light. In the end, the discovery of her remains brought no closure. Instead, it cracked the case open into a maze of speculation. Some pointed to the most straightforward explanation, that she wandered into the canyon, disoriented, possibly experiencing a mental health crisis, and succumbed to the elements. Supporters of this theory argued that her behavior at the restaurant and during her arrest suggested she may not have been thinking clearly. A simple tragedy, they said, but one made worse by the decision to release her alone in the middle of the night. Others were not convinced. They questioned how she could have reached such a remote, physically demanding location without leaving behind more signs along the way. Why were there no confirmed sightings after she left the station? No footprints, no discarded belongings, nothing that placed her definitively on that path. There were whispers, too, of the possibility that she had encountered someone after her release. Someone who might have offered help, or something far darker. Malibu Canyon is beautiful, but it's also a place where people can disappear. Then came the scrutiny of law enforcement itself. Critics claimed her disappearance was mishandled from the very first moments. Why wasn't her family notified before she was released? Why weren't deputies dispatched immediately to track her movements? Why did it take nearly a year to find her in an area so close to the last known location? Her family's grief became a fight for answers. Pressing for reforms in how vulnerable detainees are released, demanding a record of every call, every patrol, every missed opportunity in those crucial early hours. But as time passed, the trail grew colder. Evidence weathered away. Memories faded. Witnesses moved on. The canyon reclaimed its silence. What remains is not a single, clear truth, but an uneasy balance between competing possibilities. Was she failed by a system that should have protected her? Was she a victim of her own disoriented state? Or did someone out there take advantage of this? Without voices. Without people who care enough to keep asking questions. If you know something, anything, about that night, speak. If you see systems that fail the vulnerable, challenge them. If you've lost faith in the idea that one person can make a difference, let her story remind you that you already are one person. Her life mattered. Her story matters. And so does the truth. Because the moment we stop asking what happened, is the moment the darkness wins. The official record says she wandered into the canyon, and never found her way out. But official records are written by people. And people can be wrong. Her mother still wakes in the night, replaying that phone call from the jail, wondering if there was a way to change what came next. The deputies still stand by their decisions, their reports signed and sealed. The canyon still holds its secrets, and secrets don't vanish with time. Was it the elements? A lapse in judgment? Or did she cross paths with someone who didn't want her to be found? We may never know. But we can remember. And sometimes, remembering is the first step toward justice. Mitrice Richardson, gone, but not forgotten.